This is your life. This is your life. This is your life. Hey guys. First of all, let me change my name for now. Being to support you. Hey guys. Hey, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Let's do that number there. And then share this. Hey guys. Happy Wednesday. All right, and then let me check one. So hey guys, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. So happy Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on our page, but I did share it out. So my name is Sequoia Ashe Taylor. I'm the CEO and founder of Ashe Wellness. I'm a functional medicine practitioner, and what I do is that I help women to discover and decode their DNA design code so they can, their genetic genes, and so that they can be healthy, happy, and in harmony. How do we do this? Is that we distress the mess via our genetic testing, right? So I'm coming to talk to you guys because we use genetics, and we talk about using 100% of our DNA. And you've heard me talking about all this jumpstart doing about my nose. But it's not like my nose itching like a well, okay. But we're coming talking this whole month about ways that you can become a genetic genius, and that how you can activate and like discover and decode your like 100% of your DNA. So we talk all the time about that science part of it, right? The science part of the DNA that talks about using 3 to 7% of your DNA for your health and wellness needs, right? But there's also that other 93 to 97% that they call junk DNA. That is like you're like, what are we doing with that? Like that's a lot. Like that's a lot of what you're saying is junk. Like what we doing, right? And so yes, that is not junk DNA, and there is absolutely something that you can do about that. And so we're going to be talking about ways that you can activate that DNA and use that. And so we'll be talking all those alchemy activations. So just pay attention in a minute. But we're coming today to talk to you about becoming a mystical maven. About using again, we talk about the book of you, right? We talk about having access to the book of you and creating those reports and the information and applying knowledge about you, gaining the information, right? The knowledge. Then we're going to apply the knowledge that's about you. Not about me, not about this person, not about this person, not about your spouse, not about your friend, not about your cousin, about you, right? And so the way to do that in those different areas is to pull those reports and create the book of you. This is information that you're going to be able to look at for the life of time. Um, life of time throughout the time of life. So you are going to be able to get that information. Just making sure something because I'm like hearing the background noise, but yeah, that piece. Um, I'm like, what in the world? So let's see. Yeah, so being able to get that, being able to have that information, um, provided for you in that way, so that you can learn how to attribute and plan and do those type of things that are beneficial to you, right? Not something that you are saying, hey, let me base this off somebody else. Hey, let me figure out what somebody told me. Is this the new trend? Is this the new something? Like, no, this is going to be something that's based off you, right? And so when you're basing something off yourself, I always do that. When you're basing the information about yourself, you're getting the information, right? So it's very important that as we're doing this stuff now and we're going into this age of knowing and applying knowledge, that we get the information that's beneficial to us, that we're not guessing, right? The whole goal is to test and not guess about this information. Take a lot of this guesswork out. How can I take out this guesswork, um, when we're doing it, right? And so uh, how am I able to better benefit myself in this way to uh, learn myself in this way that I can continue to learn, right? I can pick up this book at all times and learn about myself, right? And so, because I'm not going to get trouble, I'm really what people want to hear about as far as this, um, you know, about this program, right? So look, so that's the part of the information that is provided for us. So the whole point of it is learn about stuff. So yes, we have the genetic genius program. Um, where you have to have your actual DNA profile. And so that cohort for the genetic genes cohort will launch in August. And but we have the actual Mystical Maven. So we talk about the difference between them. Remember, we talk about using your DNA and your genetic profiles and information that's pertaining to you. That information that's all about you helps us to create the book of you, right? So you'll gain that knowledge and get reports and chapters in that book to get the information to you. So um, you are able to do that by getting information. So when we talk about the science part of it, yes, we have to have the DNA reports. We have to go and have your DNA done. So if you're looking to get that done, while they have some of these companies, I have a lab that I work with, but then some of these other companies are running specials and reports. I mean specials and promotions, and so you're able to get those at a discounted price. So if you know you need to get your genetic work done, you need to contact me ASAP so that you can just get the information and go ahead and get your DNA reports done, so that we can get the raw data file and pull your DNA reports on the and create the book of you on the science side, right? On the spiritual side, I don't need those DNA reports in that way. I need more of the like your date of birth, your time of birth, location of birth, those type of things, right? To be able to pull to do the science part of your DNA in that one area, right? So when we talk about being the mystical maven, a maven is somebody that's like an expert, right? Somebody that knows and knowledgeable about this type of certain situation, right? So the whole point of this is to become the mystical. A mystic is someone, in my opinion, who has a higher knowledge or higher information or higher ability about the higher powers. Like there's something more than this. There's something more than me. There's a higher power, and some people call it universe. Some people call it God. Some people call it the universe. Some people call it whatever they want, but you know that it's not just tied to you, right? It's more than you, and then going on that journey. So being a mystical maybe means I'm being an expert about something, or I've learned to have a higher knowledge or higher information or level of intel that is above the average, right? So if I tie those together, I'm being more of an expert about me. Like if I'm the mystical maven, then I'm the expert about me on this mystical journey. I have a more knowledge and more in-depth knowledge and information about myself than I am on this journey, right? And so you will never become a perfect, like know everything about yourself, because it's the journey. Like I think the people, when they start talking about, hey, what is my life purpose and what I was here for, one of the main things that we don't realize, and I watched the movie Soul and I was like, I was in tears a little bit. I was like, the whole purpose of life is not to find this one thing that's like you think is the thing. It's like living, being conscious, being aware is the purpose of life, right? Because some people change careers every 5 minutes, and some people change their purpose and how that's tied in. So a lot of people tie that stuff to roles that we play. Like, hey, who am I? Am I supposed to be a wife or a mother, or I'm supposed to have this as a career? We tie ourselves to those roles and we think that's our life's purpose. But to me, I'm definitely learning on this mystical journey that my purpose is definitely tied into learning about things like that. There's, the life and death of stuff and all that kind of stuff. And that there's cycles of things, and that I have to be present and I have to be okay with going through cycles of life and death, and that I can't have expectations of stuff, right? And so as I live this life on purpose, what does that mean? Like, and then as I go and say, well, what is the purpose then? Oh, learn about not have to always implode and have a overlaying of intelligence. Me, I'm the one that will regurgitate and have downriver mouth when it comes time talking about intelligence, right? And so those things I learned about myself allows me to be on this path better, allows me to see life, be life, do life, be a being better, right? And so I think that's one of the misconceptions of my purpose. My purpose on life is to do this thing. It will lead you to doing things. It will lead you to have experiences. But the main purpose is that we have to have foundation, or what we say we draw a lot in the concrete, is that we are conscious, that we are aware that we're going to continue to evolve and be better and bigger people. Will continue on this journey, and that is a journey. It's not like, oh, I pinpoint, I found it, because just when you pinpoint and find it, the universe, and remember I said the mystical part is like, oh, okay, well, let's see that you grasp this, or did it take you, or do you need a couple more times to learn this, right? And so as you're on that journey, you definitely have to understand that. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. As we're on this journey, we have to understand and realize that we have certain gifts. Like I have friends, on one of them right now on Chelsea, that talks about Tam is another one. Miss Tammy is another one that talks about your clear gifts, right? What are your gifts that you hear? We hear stuff in intuition. We hear stuff all the time, and I'm like, man, I didn't know that. Like that's what that was, right? I hear stuff kind of all the time, or I'll just know something, but I just know this is not the way that's supposed to be, right? And not even on that ramp, because I'm being more conscious and having people around me who are bringing that to my awareness, knowing that that's important, understanding that that is key to as my part of my purpose, right? Not tied to a particular job. Like I learned through my report that I'm going to talk about right now, the book of me of that I'm going to do well as an entrepreneur. But before I get there, I got some other stuff that I got to deal with in certain areas of my life. And so if you're on that journey, if you're someone who says, Sequoia, I know that that there has to be something more than, and that's what was the tugging and the pull, thanks to my ancestors, thank y'all. That was the pull that it has to be something more than this. I kept thinking it was a role, like I had to be someone's wife. Then when I wasn't somebody's wife, I was like, oh shit. And then when okay, being somebody's mother, and now I have had to redefine as like me being a mother. My kids are growing up, and my youngest one, who is 6, is like, Mom, that's not my fault. I can't control that we have to grow up. You're gonna have to deal with that. Like, we're growing up, right? And so at some point I'm gonna be an empty nester where them jokers gonna be gone. So that is a part of my life's work, but that is not my purpose, right? I could have swore to you that me being an entrepreneur and dealing with functional medicine, I could talk about genetics all day long. Like, get me in that science taking mode. I'm gonna tell you about some stuff, right? How that was that molecule and all this kind of stuff, and how you figure out the CGT and the A gene. I all you see these little healers and stuff all day, but that is not my purpose. That's what some call it. I was called to be an educator and a healer, to educate people about certain stuff about themselves. And every time I share that story, I just was on a live in a webinar with people who connect me with the organization. I'm like, wow, like what's happening, right? Because I'm on the path of doing what I'm called to do. Yes, I'm doing it in this way as far as an entrepreneur and a career and what I'm doing. I have a career field, I'm a practitioner, but that is not my purpose. My purpose is to educate and heal people to do these things. Personal purpose is to say, hey, you want to let go of some expectations about some things and start not being attached. You got to learn about some different things and learn about how all of that intellect can impede on your ability to share and love and all that. It's not, you don't have to be all knowing, right? So as I continue on that journey, I'm definitely learning, like, what to believe. These are things that are like the cherry on an already ice and baked cake. Those roles that we play, right? And so it started with that tug of there has to be something more than this. The year to 3-3, I tell people all the time. There has to be something more than this. Like, it's above me. Starting that mystical journey, the above me. It has to be something that's beyond this. Earth is born. Like that song, Earth is ghetto. I don't want to be here song. I was like, yes. So it's kind of like that whole being of, it has to be something more. Like, this can't be just it. Like, this can't be the summation of what I'm calling you to do. It can't be the summation of how you live life on all those terms, right? It can't be the summation of those things, right? And so on that journey, I am able to learn. I'm able to hear. I'm able to understand. And one of the things that took me further, I told you guys from the other day about my, Mindset Monday. If you didn't see that video about me, how like that life and death, talk about me learning about myself and looking at it in a different way. Now, hindsight is 2020 when all those deaths was happening, and COVID was happening, and wars was happening. Those are deaths, right? And not being attached to those things. I had to learn to go through that process. I started with mindful meditation. I started by looking at my astrology report. And then I started getting into some jinkies. I was like, what the is this? um, Learning about myself. And a lot of that is tied to I Ching, if you don't know anything about that. A lot is tied to the hexagram. A lot is tied to astrology. Like, I was born at this day, this time, this place, and this, and the way the stars and moon, all that kind of stuff align. And a lot of it is based off of that, and it's tied, and that's embedded into my DNA, right? When I talk about your spiritual DNA, it's embedded on that area of being able to do that, right? And so I've had to learn about those certain areas. And now I don't say I meditate. You hear me say, oh, I don't meditate like on certain stuff. I meditate to hear. I pray and I meditate to hear, but I contemplate on certain aspects of life. When I have my date night, I don't meditate. I contemplate on certain aspects. I'll ask myself a question and contemplate on this. Or, hey, I need to check myself and contemplate on those thought processes. It's a deeper thinking. It's a deeper knowing. Remember, I talked about that. I just learned about me having clairvoyance, something like that. One of those clairs that's been activated more in me, where I'm like, I just kind of know this thing, and I'm like, I know that, and I'm mad. Like, I'm gonna be mad that I know it, or like, how the hell do I know this, right? But I'm getting that information, those downloads, because those clairs are becoming more like, I feel like I've always kind of been clear audience and never paid attention to it. But using my intuition, I was like, my gut, like, don't do that. Go do this. And so those things and gifts are being done. So the whole point of what I'm talking about, like the Mystical Maven program, if that is you, you definitely want to join our cohort, right? The beta cohort is going to be in July 12th. This is going to be a 6-week program, right? And so trust me when I say that these prices that we're going to do with this guys, give ancestors, all that spiritual, my business guide is like, hell to no, this on time, it's going to be this way. And there's a purpose behind it, right? But if you're someone who says, hey, I want to have a deeper knowing of myself on the spiritual level, I want to go and get down to the DNA of the matter of me as a person. So if you talk about self-help, when you talk about being motivated to go to the next level, this is that times 10, right? We're not talking about in general, hey, get this self-help book in general, let's go through this program and it's a culture program. And I'm not negating any of that. Like you need to do those, and I believe that people should have life coaches. I believe that people should have spiritual coaches. You need it because those they need to be talking to you about you, right? But if you this is something, this program would be something you take to the spiritual coach and be like, hey, I found this out about myself. And in the book of me, the chapter that talks about my spiritual walk, this is, what I need to be talking about, right? I think anytime we have information about it, any of our reports in the chapters of the book of you, on the science side, when you take your genetic profiles to your doctor, take them to your doctor. Hey, this is what I pulled out. This is my DNA. It's not changing. You want to know my genetic history? This is what it's saying based off of this and this and this. This is what do I need to do? Same thing when you're on the spiritual side of your DNA. When you get this information, when you talk to a spiritual coach, when you talk to a life coach, this is information that you can take to them. This is information that you can share with them and say, hey, I have a deeper knowing, mystical maven, a deeper knowing, a deeper intellect, a deeper knowledge about myself on this mystical journey, right? Because it's something higher and more being than me. I'm a part of this thing, and then I'm going to be more knowledgeable about it, right? So if you're someone who wants to join the Cohort, this, like I said, is going to be a 6-week program. The first week is going to be the week that we talk about. You're going to get your actual report. So you're going to learn about the terminology, how this goes. So a lot of people say, yeah, well, I pulled up my gene keys and I picked up this report and I looked at my astrological chart, and I have no idea what the hell all the things is. Square, all this kind of stuff, and where this moon and this house and all that kind of stuff. We're going to simplify that for you in a way, right? So we're going to use the activation sequence of your gene keys, and you're going to learn in those things. So the first week we're going to talk about getting your actual report. We're going to talk about terminology and what you can do. The second week we're going to talk about your life's work. Like, what am I here to do? You're going to get a gene key that's assigned to that, that's assigned to you. It's not me, right? I know mine is 42, but yours could be anywhere from 1 to 64, right? So you're going to find out which one it is. You're going to get information because you're going to have a report that comes up like this. Y'all see how that looks? What did I say? Sequoia. My gene gets Sequoia. This is Sequoia's report that tells her this baseline. We're going to be deep in it, right? So each week we're going to talk about these different topics, right? So one week we're going to talk about your life's work. One week we're going to talk about the evolution. What is going to be tied to that? Because the evolution of your life's work is tied together, right? Then we're going to talk about your radiance. What keeps me healthy? What keeps me well? Like, what is when we talk about baseline of your health and wellness, what's going to be that aspect that says, hey, when I do this, this feeds my soul and it deals with my health, not just on a physical level, but on my soul and spirit level as well, right? Then we're going to talk about the purpose, your purpose, your life's work and your purpose. I just told y'all that was two different things. Those things are two different things. My life work, what I'm here to do, what am I here to learn? And then my purpose, those, I think we miscue those a lot, right? If you have a life work that you're supposed to have and a path that you have to learn, that it, like Sequoia had to learn this, then my purpose is here. So each week we're going to do that. So week 2 we'll be talking about my life work. Week 3 we'll be talking about my evolution. Week 3 we'll be talking about your radiance, which deals with what makes me healthy, right? So the life work is what I'm here to do. Week 2. My evolution is what I'm here to learn. Week 3. My radiance, which is what keeps me healthy. And week 5, did I say 3? 2, 3, 4, and 5. The week 5 is my purpose, what deeply fulfills me, right? And so you want different on that. Week 6 is going to be a tie-up. We'll be doing that where you have like mini one-on-ones to kind of talk about next steps, how you continue to do that. But each week we're going to deeper dive into that. Each week you will actually, so you'll get the information. It'll be like a course in the portal. You'll get information about that and how to apply it to yourself. And then once a week we're going to have a live Q&A where we're able to go deeper into the conversation about that. You'll be able to ask questions. You'll be able to like share. You may have that same gene key with someone else. How those are opposing to give aha moments. So we'll come together and have that information. And then in week 6 is going to be the summation of what's the next steps. What am I going to do next with this? How do I keep learning from that? And then you'll have many one-on-ones at week 6, right? So that whole cohort in that program, that is the beta cohort, and we'll be doing them probably every 8 weeks, probably. So I think I'm getting 4 to 6 times a year. You can also do this one-on-one. If you do not want to wait and be like, I would want to do it over a 6-week period of time, I want to have an appointment with you, Sequoia, and go through that with you one-on-one. We also offer this service one-on-one, but there's also, I think there's an aspect of being in a group setting and learning about that from each other, right? So you'll be able to apply it to yourself based off your personal report, but then come and ask, get ahas and things of that nature for that. Again, that cohort starts July 12th. The cost of that, if you do it paid in full or you do some type of afterpay, something like that, is $6.99. If you need to pay payments, it's $7.99, and that will be you will be split. You'll pay a deposit, and then it'll be 3 payments split, right? So $6.99 you're gonna pay it in full. You're gonna come out the gate. $7.99 if you're gonna do payment plans, and Yeah, that's the only time that's going to be that cost. And the beta group gonna get some extra goodies and bonuses, and we're gonna talk about that as we go forward. I just want to come and talk to you guys about that because now we have people and so that want to learn about it. I've been getting asked about it. The cool thing about this is that we're gonna be deep and diving. So this is like that histogram of that, my full report. So you're gonna be getting in it. It's gonna be way deeper than this. Like my real one that I printed out that talks about each one of them is like chapters, right? So this is the sequence that we'll be going through when you learn like you said. This is my sacred geometry. This is what they look like. Right, and so we'll be talking about it for each week. You'll get your report. You'll get it. It's going to be like a book of you. Like I said, the spiritual part of the book of you. It'll be a chapter of the spiritual part of the book of you, and then we will go through those. And this is something that I go to all the time. Like lately, especially with this whole new moon, lunar stuff, solar eclipse stuff, all these retrogrades. I have been going to this daily. I have been having to go to my actual Mystical Maven report about me, like my chapters about me on the spiritual side. I have had to go to this daily lately. Like, what is going on? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel stuck? What is going on? Right. So that is one aspect of you being able to do that. This is something that you will take for the lifetime. You better pull this out for the lifetime because those things are not going to change. Some of those things you may say, "How am I going to need that right now?" But the next year you'll use them. Right. Some things that I look at now, I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't need, I don't need to contemplate on it as much. And then I'll go back like, what was that really about? How is that tying into this? Or how is that tying into that? Or when it comes to health and wellness, so really, is it the baseline of this? I'm able to have that conversation with myself because I have the book of you on that side that has that chapter in it that's talking about me being the mystical maven, right? Having that deeper knowledge, having that higher level of knowledge about me on this mystical journey. That is not, I'm a sum, the sum total of the whole. I'm a piece of that, right? And that is something bigger than me and something greater. And that I'm on this journey, but I could become the expert about me in that way. I could become more knowledgeable and have a deeper insight and intel about me in that way. So if you're someone who wants to join that cohort, we're going to talk about this from now. That can come now. For the next couple of weeks, we'll be talking about the Mystical Maven cohort. That's going to be, it starts July 12th. Again, it's a 6-week program. Each week, we're going to deep dive into those different things. Of course, there are going to be some extra goodies and bonuses, but those are the things that goes with that. If you want to do a one-on-one, if you do not want to do it over a 6-week time span, and you want to do it with me and say, well, Sequoia, I need a little bit more less exclusivity. I don't want to talk about this type of stuff in front of people, or I need to connect my time. I don't want with 6 weeks. Then you definitely can book and have that as a one-on-one service. We definitely do that as well. It's more expensive. Um, but then if you want to be a part of a collective in a group that says, hey, we're doing it. So you'll be able to do each week on your own to contemplate, and we'll have exercise for you contemplating how you understand this and digest this information in smaller pieces because it can be a lot. This journey is a forever journey. So getting those smaller pieces and then learning how to apply them all at the end, and then having those weekly chats where we're able to come ask Q&A. And then I promise you, just with me being able to do that, having other people like, oh, Miles, that number was here, my JQ was here, or having those conversations, right? Being able to contemplate that in that way and connect with other people that shows you that how we're still, even in that, we're in our DNAs and stuff, we're interwoven and connected, right? And we're tied into different things and stuff like that. So just because we're making it customized and individualized, there is a component that shows that we are a collective people. So if you're interested in that, I definitely make sure you message me. There are only going to be 12 spots. Like we're only doing 12 because of this first cohort, because I want to keep it intimate. I want to make sure that we are, focusing and tying into what each person is being able to do. So there will be some level of personability to it, even though it's part of a group cohort. And so it's only 12 spots. It's only 12 now. Like I said, I have 2 calls, and I think 2 of those are going to be going just like in the genetic genius, right? So this is one of our programs that we're doing, the Mystical Maven cohort. It's a 6-week program. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about that again. Again, if you're going to pay outright in the front, it's $6.99. If you need to do payment plans, then it's going to be $7.99. That is, it starts July 12th. July 12th. I know it's like, the program starts July 12th, and then we will, like I said, have those weekly assignments and information about you, and then we'll have those weekly calls and trainings. And so I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. I think it's definitely something that's beneficial that you guys want to tune into and tap into. We will have future cohorts, but this beta cohort is going to be off the 10. We're going to have some fun, right? So I can't wait. I'm super excited for the people that's going to join us, get this information about us so that we can use 100% of our DNA and learn about ourselves in that way, right? And continue to add to that book of you. So my name is Sequoia Shea Taylor, and I'm looking forward to helping you be a mystical maven on your journey of using all of your DNA, right? Being a genetic genius. This is one aspect of you being the genetic genius as you decode and discover and decode your genetic profile. So If you guys have any questions, please do comment me. If you need information, you can definitely inbox us. Also, if you want to have a quick chat about it to say, hey, I don't understand if it's going to be for me. Do I need to do one-on-one? Do I need to be a part of the cohort? You definitely go to bit.ly /Ashe Wellness Appointment. So bit.ly ASE Wellness all spelled out, appointment all spelled out. Go ahead and book your complimentary wellness chat, and we will definitely get you scheduled so that you can get information about that to be able to join the cohort. Okay. So looking forward to talking to you guys, and we'll talk again soon. Happy Wednesday.